Well, I want to move on to the last section, which deals with both vocation and the importance of discernment. And I found a tremendous, rich affirmation of the call to marriage, and and also I remember joking with some of the guys around my age. As I was discerning priesthood, they were discerning marriage. And we were all struggling with the one thing that we eventually named the difficulty of saying yes to one thing or one person. And I remember joking with some of the guys, because I could do this now that I had made my one yes. You guys are just saying yes to nothing so you can keep all the doors open, and so I thought the Holy Father really sort of, reflected on the way and the blessing and the fruitfulness of the one yes, which obviously has a great impact on marriage. And then he took it to religious life and consecrated life as well, and daring people to, if God is calling to that, it is a call to deep intimacy with the Lord and rich blessing of giving oneself. And anyway, I just found it a real simple way of naming religious life and the life of priesthood, along with the sacrament of marriage. But any impressions you had on his comments there?
I felt called out.
Oh, okay.
when he calls us, you need to commit. I didn't even realize how much in my own heart there's that fear of commitment. I remember in my first year of college, I was talking to a friend, and he just casually was like, speaking on dating, yeah, I have commitment phobia, so I've never dated anybody. And I was just like, commitment phobia, interesting.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, and it's never left me. I'm like, yeah, we got commitment phobia, seriously, but it's possible to act against it. And so I was just deeply encouraged by Pope Francis, because he calls us commit to something. I urge you to opt for marriage. Go. To make that commitment, because a lot of people in our culture aren't making commitments.
But the Holy Father's a brave guy. That's easy for the Holy Father to say,
Yeah, he gave his yes 60 years ago.
We still need to hear it, though.
Of course we do, yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's definitely a big struggle in my life, is that commit to this
there's
one
just too
thing.
many good options.
Yeah, there's so many, and you want to keep them open, because with that...
Well, yeah, and there's a time for that.
FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, it's
so real.
I think part of that stems from technology. With technology, we don't have to commit to anything. This video is being filmed on these cameras.
Was there a video being filmed?
We can chop it up. Oh.
Hello.
But we can chop it up and say, oh yeah, just delete that part out. We don't have to even commit to what we say right now.
Or commit to posting this, or...
Yeah, we could just...
I think everything that's said here is going on the video.
Now that gives us a phobia.
Yeah, actually. I love the way he highlights Mary's yes, the way in the Incarnation she just said yes. Yeah. Not a we'll see. Because how often do we hear those words coming out I'm working towards this, but we'll see how it turns out. There's a safety that we keep around ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Say yes.
I totally get that, the joy and the thrill of saying yes to things, but usually it's just it'll be a short-term thing, and then it's just send it, I'll do it, yes. But they're often short-term things, and that's why when a long commitment comes, it's I can't get out of this. It would be, so it is scary.
But now you're getting into the section on discernment. And I found that very helpful too. He really calls us to discernment, and so we make the right yes, which is a journey, a process that involves prayer, really involves the light of the Holy Spirit, and leading us through a journey with the Lord. And so the discernment piece, I'm wondering if anything spoke to you there.
Yeah, I mean, for myself now as a married man, I wake up in the morning and I know what I have to do. I know God's calling me to get my kid out of bed, start changing his diaper, and it's very clear. I can serve God, and I can serve and give of myself, make a self-gift in really practical ways. But as a single person, you don't have that luxury. There's a lot of different ways that your energy can get dissipated. And I had a heck of a time committing to one vocation, like we were talking about with the phobia of commitment. But I think that's such a gift that I have now. I think Jean Vanier talked about the poverty that young people bear by not knowing the decisive direction of their life. Before we commit to a vocation, there's that great unknown of not knowing where God is calling us to serve. And there's a beauty in that, because we're free to serve in so many different ways, but there's also a burden because we don't know, we don't have practical, concrete situations where we can give of ourselves, because that's what life's about, right?
Mm-hmm. And what excites me is at this stage in my life, and is to just know that my commitment is to live for God, and no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I still have this kind of blueprint of how to act, and this preparation of what this time is in my life. And I loved in the beginning of the document where he brings up Jesus' life as a young person, and what his youth teaches us. He says here that Jesus' life can prove inspiring for all those young people who are developing and preparing to take up their mission in life. This involves growing in relationship with the Father, in awareness of being a part of a family and a people, and in openness to being filled with the Holy Spirit and led to carry out the mission God gives them, their personal vocation. So at this stage in my life, looking ahead is just, it excites me that this time of my youth is in preparation, in training for my vocation in the future, whatever that may be. But then, there comes that time where you gotta say yes.
That's totally the right attitude to take, though, with your young single years. I always tell young people, like, use this time as like the training sequence for the rest of your life. So, like, you know how in all the good action movies there's like a training sequence, like Rocky Balboa was like drinking those eggs and like
it's inspiring
through the tires and stuff. And that's like the single life. Like we have so much time when we're single to be free to serve in different ways. And like I feel like I squandered so many opportunities before I was married to serve, and in other ways I feel like I did okay. But yeah, there's a great gift there, a great opportunity.
Yeah, and that's just one of the things that bothers me so much is when young people say, this is our time to just live it up and mess around.
Live it up.
Live it up. But it's like that's how they see it, and then once I get older, then life becomes serious, and that's what it is. But it's like, no, this is the preparation, this is the training, and there's sacrifices you got to make to make sure you take this seriously in preparing yourself for God's plan, because it's exciting knowing and fully believing that God has some big things in store for me and for everybody else.
He points out a lot of things in 2:8 about going through this process of being transformed by Christ, developing habits of doing good, working to identify sins, but also to see God's work in our lives and in our history, and looking at the witnesses of all the men and women who have gone before us or who accompany alongside us. So we're not alone just zapping.